Nikki, the death historian here, and I am coming to you from the very edge of All Saints Church in Odiham. And behind me, you can see one of the last remaining pest houses in the country. Now, a pest house, just for clarification, is where a town or village would take the people who were infected with the plague. This one was built in 1622 when an outbreak of the plague reached this far west. As you can see, it's actually rather small. It's not open today because it's the way it works sometimes. Take a little peek inside. Right? You can see it's very small. People were not expected to stay long. This is where the physician would make the medicine, hand it out, and either send people back home or keep them here in very bad cases. You see how small this place is behind me and how big that fireplace was, right? So, of course, medicines and things would be made over the fireplace, and additionally, based on the time frame that this was in operation, it is quite unlikely that these windows opened. So it would have been very warm inside. Now, there's two windows inside here, okay? One goes out into a parking lot now, one out into the churchyard. Taken from about window level, this is what people would see. This grave, although I do not know about the two beyond it, did not come into being until the late 19th century. So they would not have been here in the 1600s when this pest house was initially built. And although I am certain that in some cases the church, which is behind that tree, would have brought some solace because the tree would not have, of course, been there 300 years ago, seeing the dead splayed out across the churchyard was probably not a very uplifting visual for people. But I can basically promise you that was not a consideration at the time. Because while we know now that the bubonic plague was caused by fleas on rats, and it can be cured now, they didn't have any of that information back then. So once those buboes started to show, and once that fever started to rage, and once it was bad enough that you had to be taken out of your house and brought to the pest house, it's not likely that they expected to survive.